I'm going to turn a cube and a cube on the lathe. I'm only going to use the lathe. I'm not going to use a drill press or a table saw. It's a pretty easy project using a table saw and a drill press, but this is done 100% on the lathe. I first saw this on Temple Boy Turnings, Steven Twydell's YouTube channel. I'll put a link to his video in the description. When I watched him do it, I thought it was a really neat project, but when I tried to do it the way he did, I just couldn't get consistent results. So I do my layout just a little bit differently than he does. It doesn't mean that one's better than the other, it just means that I do my layout a little bit differently. I'll go ahead and get started. Got a piece of cherry. Got a piece of cherry on my lathe. It's about 5 inches long and about maybe a little over 2 inches in diameter. First thing I'm going to do is cut a tenon, put it in my 4-jaw chuck. I'm going to use a 3/8 Quadrant for that. This wants to be a pretty consistent diameter, so not too bad. Just going to true it up a little bit. To make this cube, this piece square, it has to be laid out in 4 quadrants. Steve did it in his video. He did it with calipers and a square and by measuring. The easiest way I've found to do it is to just use the index on your lathe. My lathe has a 24 position index, so I'm going to mark every 6 divisions. I'll start at 0, move 6 spaces, and mark a line. I have brought my tool rest up close so I don't get a lot up and down with my pencil. 6 more spaces. Six more. Right there. I should have it divided into 4 even quadrants. I'm going to mark center point on it, which is about 4 now. About 2.5 right there. And mark about 1 inch to either side of that. Wherever these horizontal lines and the center line intersect, I'm going to give myself a center point using my awl. It's important to be as accurate as possible when you're doing this. Okay, those are all marked. I'm going to true up this end a little bit. If you don't have an index on your lathe, another way to divide this into 4 quadrants is to use a compass and draw a circle just inside the diameter of the cylinder. Draw a line through the center that hits the circle on either end. Using your compass, where the line and the circle meet, open it up a little bit and make an arc. Do the same thing from the other side and make an arc. Now draw a line through the center where the arcs meet. This is 4 equal quadrants. It will also tell you what's the biggest square you can get out of this piece. I can get a square about, we'll say about 1 3/4 inches. I should be able to get a cube out of this, about 1 3/4 inches square. I'm going to mount this in the lathe using my center points that I marked around the circumference. Doesn't matter which one I do first. I'm going to make a flat sight on this, about 1 3/4 inches square. The tool that works the best for me is my skew. I don't get a real good cut with the gouge. The scraper will work, but the tailstock gets in the way. So I'm just going to use my skew like a scraper and make a flat spot. These lines will give me the tenon for my chuck. I want to be pretty well straight in and out, and I can see that I'm really high in the middle. That's better. Still a little high in the middle. I can go a little smaller on my tenon. Low in the middle now. I'm about where I want to be in the middle, so I'm going to take a little bit off out at the edge. A little bit more. Now I'm going to turn this 90 degrees. It doesn't matter which way. 90 degrees, and do the same thing on this side. Before I go too far, I'm going to check to see if I'm square. Not too bad. I got my layout right, and I hit my center points good. So that's pretty good. Okay, got a good square corner there, got a nice crisp edge there. I'm going to remove the center point, or the drive spur. This is not the best tenon. I'm going to use tailstock support to cut this side and the next side. I don't have to worry about leaving a tenon. I can go all the way to the center. I can see I'm high in the middle. You can also see it on how close this corner is at the edge and then how big it is in the middle. I want to be sure and give myself a center point. I'll need it later. Okay, we'll do the other edge. Okay, there is a round piece turned into a square. Now what I have to do is remove most of these tenons. That's why I made sure to give myself a center point on the other edges. Put my drive spur back in. Okay, that's pretty good. The thing to do now is I want to cut the length from here, whatever this dimension is. I've already got that right here.